Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Fantauzzi Show. This is your guest, Dante Fantauzzi, and I'm here to welcome you to another show that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to get started on my own segment today. Lately, surfing, and a lot of talk about, he's practically made himself a household name over the course of this last month. And we all know who his kids are. Lavarr Ball, father of Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, and LiAngelo Ball. Over the past couple weeks, well, actually over the month, he's been, commenting and saying stuff that, just to really get his name out there as I see it and get publicity for his kids. Recently, he made comments, though, that I don't agree with about the kids of NBA superstar LeBron James. He's practically said in other terms that his kids will never be as good as his kids, and the pressure is on his kids because their dad is LeBron James. Necessarily, I don't agree with him. Before this, he's had his little rants and whatnot about he could guard Jordan in his prime one-on-one, or he can beat Charles Barkley, or if Charles Barkley thought as of the same thought that LeVar Ball thinks of, Barkley would have won a ring, and just a whole bunch of nonsense going on. But the thing that I don't agree with, though, is you don't worry about another man's family and you don't have his kid's name in your mouth. That's something I just don't agree with. It's something I could never agree with. I just don't think you do it, and especially as a grown man that you are. I don't know his specific age or anything like that, but I'm not going to get into all of that. But as a grown man, why are you worrying about another man's kids is my question. You could say whatever you want. Just don't ever mention another man's kids, especially as I see it, though, LeBron James. And, I was told, and I've said this previously before, you're talking about LeBron James' kids, which his oldest son at the age of 12 has a standing offer from Kentucky and Duke. At the age of 12, this is my question to LeVar. At the age of 12, did your kids at the age of 12 have standing offers from Kentucky and Duke? No. You're just actually coming onto the scene, and your kid, Lonzo Ball, hasn't really made noise until he got to high school. So why are you worried about another man's kids and their style of the game and what they have to deal with? Necessarily, they probably won't even feel the pressure until they're in high school. And if they come out as smart as their father, then they necessarily won't feel the pressure, or they'll get the pressure, but they're not gonna let it roll over them. They're not, and that's if they're as smart as their father. Their father, LeBron James Sr., handles the media very well. So I don't see why you're worried about them or why their names are in your mouth. And to me, that's equivalent about another grown man being worried about another grown man's money that's in his pocket. Well, let me rephrase that. A grown man being worried about what another grown man has in his pockets. That's how I see it. To me, that's equivalent to one another. So the point I'm just trying to make is, as a grown man, you don't criticize other man's kids. And you don't criticize a little kid that are the age of 12. And I don't know how old the rest of his kids are. But that's that. That's how I feel. My feelings towards LeVar Ball is the fact that you're putting a target on your kid's back. I think the one you're really putting a target on is Lonzo Ball, your oldest son. We all know Lonzo Ball is something special, and his dad is just creating publicity, which isn't bad. But, some of the comments that he has said have been a little out of pocket and something that's really not, you really shouldn't be saying. But, bad publicity is good publicity. So I can't argue with that right there. But I think LeVar is putting his son, Lonzo, in a tougher situation than what he's in already. He's making teams, to me, scared to draft him. But, all of that is because of the criticism that his dad is saying, and and I'm pretty sure that him being a dad, and the way he is and the way his style is. Let's just say, for instance, the Lakers draft Lonzo Ball. Let's just say that happens, for instance, okay? You are, your son is in a predicament where if he goes to the Lakers, his expectations are going to be higher than what they already are. For instance, you get drafted by the Lakers. Los Angeles is the number 2 market in the U.S., which means is out of the markets in the United States, Los Angeles is the second wealthiest one in the United States. So, back to the point, Lonzo is going to be put in a predicament where your expectations are going to be higher. The media is going to continue to roll on to you, and you're going to be playing in the likes of Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson. And what comes with those two men is their history. We all know the Lakers' history when they've had Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant. So that right there, everybody's going to look to you as, yes, the go-to man. But we all don't know how he's going to face all of that. We don't know how he's going to react to all of that. If Lonzo goes to LA, I think Lonzo's going to end up like Allen Iverson. I'm not bashing Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was criticized, manhandled, beaten and bruised by the media. And the media from when Allen Iverson was playing to now that Lonzo Ball is playing is completely different. Back when Allen Iverson was playing, there wasn't no MySpace, no Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, none of that stuff. So Lonzo Ball, from what I believe his dad is doing to him, is going to end up like Allen Iverson, just maybe a little bit worse than Allen Iverson, because the media is much bigger than what it was when Allen Iverson was playing. So that's something I think you shouldn't want to do, Lavarr. You don't want to put that target on your kid's back. Wherever Lonzo goes his first year, well, whichever team he's drafted by, I can guarantee you one thing. The statements you're saying about him being better than Steph and all of that, I understand, that's cool. You have that much confidence in your kids. You want these opposing players to come at your son as hard as they could because it's going to make him better. But what you're doing to your son is putting pressure on him to have to live up to all of that, which we don't know because we all know, well, I specifically don't know, but NBA players all know the transition from college to the NBA is not smooth. It's very rough, and your son's going to get killed by the top elite point guards in the NBA, a la Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, John Wall, and so on. So, that's the end of that. I'm going to move on from that. Basically, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, there was a video surfing from TMZ of running back superstar for the Dallas Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliot, pulling down a female's top. I think for Ezekiel Elliott, that really wasn't the best thing to do. It was really one of the worst and very immature things you can do. The decision he made to choose that was an idiotic decision, something very inappropriate. Being a young adult that you are, you need to conduct yourself as a young adult. This is the same Elliott that complained the day after they lost to the Packers in the playoffs that his domestic violence case was still going on, saying it needed to end. No evidence was ever found in that case, and since no evidence was found, it can change people's thoughts, and But after this video, I believe people are gonna second guess him and second guess their thought about him. one thing that I just want to pinpoint out is that you're Ezekiel Elliot. You can't be doing things like this in the public's eye. The public, wherever you go, as soon as you step out in public, they're going to have that eye on you. And they're not going to let go. And as soon as you step out in public, everybody's going to follow you. And their videos and, their camcorders and video recordings from their phone is going to be out and on you. You can't do that. And you're 21, you're like 22, 23, however old you are. You're a young adult. And you're a superstar talent in the NFL. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, he's a young man and he needs still to grow up. It doesn't matter. You're not 18, you're not below 17, you're not younger than 18 years old anymore. You commit a crime, you're going to jail. Not juvenile detention or juvie, whatever that is, you're going to jail with other grown men. It's time to make grown men decisions and become a man. And especially you have to make that transition very quickly because you're in the NFL. You're getting lots of money thrown at you. Lots of girls are going to come to you. And you're going to be faced with situations that a regular 22, 23-year-old is not going to face. You have to grow up quickly. And you still have the case with the domestic violence of your ex-girlfriend, I believe. And that case is still open. So now it's gonna change the view of, well, if he's willing to do this in the public, what makes you think he's not gonna do something way worse behind closed doors where nobody can see it? Ezekiel Elliott is just painting a picture and an image on himself he doesn't want to paint. Zeke, just his rookie year, is considered an elite running back. So those cameras and eyes, like I said, are not going to leave him. He should know that. Whenever you step in the public and wherever you go, those cameras are going to be focusing in on you. You should know that. And the media is there to break you. The media is going to break you down, like I just said maybe 2-3 minutes ago about Lonzo Ball. So it's going to be there. You're just a quick example off the top of my head. Like I said earlier, Allen Iverson, those cameras did not leave him. They were always on him in the public and it broke him down. So you need to make better decisions. So Zeke, it's time to put the big boy pants on and grow up. Yes, you're a young adult, but like I said, you're a professional athlete and a top running back in the NFL. You have to make that transition very quickly. You have to. And, people would say, well, it's no big deal. Because after the video surfaced, the female came out and said, well, it's not a big deal. Yes, it is a big deal. Because he's Ezekiel Elliott. And another thought is, this woman should be ashamed of herself. Why are you okay with this man pulling down your shirt in front of thousands of people, and now this video is probably going global around the world. So basically instead of thousands of people seeing your breast, millions of people are seeing your breast. You should be ashamed of yourself for those comments. It's just a personal thought. I feel like this young woman should have more respect for herself than just, however she really, whatever amount of respect that she has for herself. I think it's a shame. I think she needs to self-preserve herself, and that's that. Whether Zeke and this female knew each other for a while or just met, as a man, you don't do this. The case is, Zeke is still facing an open charge, and if any piece of evidence is recorded or found, he will be going to jail. Why? Because he's 21 years old, and it's time for Zeke to grow up. It's that simple. Look at, he's already gone to the NFL, made his noise and whatnot, but you already have 2 or 3, incidents already in the public eye? One of them was, the two we already know was when the video that was released maybe a week or two back, and the domestic case that is still open with him apparently abusing or hitting his ex-girlfriend, whatever that case is. The third one was when they were in Denver or in Colorado. One of the two. Denver is in Colorado, but he was somewhere around that area, and we all know in that area, weed is legal, and they're allowed to smoke it. And him and his entourage went to a store or whatever it is that sells weed. Um, the NFL does not allow any of their players to smoke weed. We all know, as you know, a prime example would be Josh Gordon and Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount. So that's just something, another incident, because the NFL does not allow that. So my question is, why are you still doing it? I don't see why you still are, creating these incidents and putting yourself in these situations that is really going to affect you. So I think it's, like I said earlier, it's time to be a big boy. It's time to put the big boy pants on and turn this thing around and, just paint a better image for yourself. That's just how I see it for you, Zeke. And for my last segment and my last discussion about my show for today, I want to touch the Eagles and their first round pick and where I think they can go after this season, after this offseason and after the upcoming draft, and why I think they can turn it around within a year and make the playoffs. So, basically, I feel as though the Eagles I don't really think they have to go defensive player in the first round. I think the Eagles can either take, I would really like them to take Dalvin Cook, running back out of Florida State. Look at the teams in the NFL have top offenses with okay defenses and still kill it every year. The teams that come to mind, are the Packers, Patriots, Raiders, Cowboys, Steelers, and the Patriots. But, the Patriots just have a system where they can get any type of player and have that player play to another level. So they have okay players, but I just believe the coaching and the way that their system is, they just come to the Patriots and ball out. Like, they just have that thing. I don't know how to explain it with the Patriots. But, if it wasn't for the Patriots defense and their system, they would be an iffy defense and an okay defense. But back to the point I was trying to make, though. When we look at the opposite side of the ball, looking at teams that have better defenses with okay offenses. Just this past year, there's 3 teams that come straight to my mind, which are the Cardinals, Broncos, and Seahawks. Yes, the Seahawks made it to the playoffs, but they lost in the divisional round to the Falcons. But look at the other 2 teams, the Broncos and the Cardinals. Top elite defenses. There's no questioning that, and there's no arguing with that. But they didn't have that offense to really move them and in late game situations really come up big for them. The Cardinals were, in my eyes, the Cardinals were, a 2-player offense when they ran the whole offense through their 2 players, and David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. And, they didn't have a consistent quarterback with Carson Palmer, so that's something I think they need to fix up. But, getting back to the Eagles situation, we signed 2 good receivers. A wide receiver, I honestly think he's a wide receiver 1 in Alshon Jeffrey, and the speedster going opposite, and Torrey Smith, who I think could be a great wide receiver 2, but playing next to Jeffrey, while opposite of Jeffrey. And manning the middle, we would have Jordan Matthews in the slot and Zach Ertz as our tight end. And, when we think about it and when we really analyze this stuff, the Eagles lost 6 games by 7 points or less. And there was a couple of the games that, our offense really just threw away. Or the coaching was just bad. Look at when we played the Giants. We lost by 5 points. There was 2 fourth downs where the Eagles went for it, but instead, if you honestly believe if you kick the field goals and make both field goals instead of trying to go for it, the Eagles win by 1. So that's your that right there is a difference maker. When we played Dallas, I wouldn't throw the game on the defense. Well, I mean, Nolan Carroll did get burnt by Dez Bryant, so which really I believe had the game going to overtime. But in the overtime, Doug Peterson was just made bad calls, I believe, for the offense to run plays. I didn't agree with none of the plays. I wouldn't, line up Trey Burton as a wide receiver on third down and try to make something happen. Try to make a play happen when I don't really see him to be a playmaker. So, and even on defense, the Eagles showed eliteness at times and really showed that top tier one defense at times, but weren't really consistent with it. I believe in the draft, our first round pick should be Dalvin Cook if he's still available. Because we really need a running back. That right there is not really a safe spot going into the season that we don't have a running back. And in the second round, third round, fourth round, okay, I can see them going corner, defensive end, corner again possibly. I mean, if Adoree Jackson's still there by the second round, do it. Or the third or fourth round. Well, in the fourth round we have 2 picks, but I believe in the fourth round we should go the defensive end out of Villanova if he's still there. To Noah, I don't know how to say his name. I apologize. But he's defensive end out of Villanova. He's a big, strong dude, very athletic, fast. And then I mentioned big because this dude is big. And I believe that, with the picks that the Eagles have in the draft, well, not with the picks, but, with good coaching. I mean, not good coaching, good drafting and the offseason moves that we have made and everything, the Eagles can turn this whole organization around in just 1 year. And it'll be really up to the players to come together, gel, make it happen, and produce the plays that have to be produced and have to be made. That's how I see it. That's how I believe it. I'm not gonna give my expectations yet on the team, but if I had to right now, I would expect the Eagles to go 9-7, 10-6, without a good draft. But I believe with a good draft, I believe the Eagles can go 10-6, 11-5, sneak into the playoffs, and maybe lose in the second round of the playoffs, depending on who we play in the first round. But that's that. I just want to thank everybody for listening to this show, listening to the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, share with family, and, comment, give me some feedback, and let me know what you think. Thank you. This is Dante Fantauzzi signing off. Everybody have a good one.